Very good morning to all of you. My name is Sharique. I am from Lord Buddha Foundation School. So today I will teach you about trigonometry. Okay. So first we should learn the definition of trigonometry. Okay. So here is the definition of trigonometry, that it is the branch of mathematics which deals with the measurement of angles and the problems aligned with the angles. Which means that this is the branch of mathematics, which means that trigonometry is a part of mathematics in which we will further discuss about the measurement of some angles and the problems related to those angles. Okay, it is generally used in the trigonometry topic is generally used in the right angle triangle. Suppose use a right angle triangle. So trigonometry is used in a right angle triangle. Suppose ABC is a right angle triangle. Okay, we are taking ABC as a right angle triangle and we are considering this base angle as theta. This is the base angle which measurement is theta. Okay, so obviously this angle B is 90 degree. As we are discussing about a right angle triangle, so angle B is 90 degree here. Okay, so now we can discuss about the angle A and angle C. These two are angles, but these two angles are acute angles. Angle A and angle C are acute angles, and angle B is 90 degree. The measurement of angle B is 90 degree. Okay, suppose we are assuming that this ABC is a right angle triangle in which side AB is perpendicular. Suppose we are considering this AB as perpendicular and its measurement as x units. Okay, this BC as base, we are considering this as base and assuming its value as y units, and AC as hypotenuse and its value is, or its measurement is, z units. Okay, so by relating these sides like perpendicular, base and hypotenuse, we will find some angles. Okay, some trigonometric angles. In this trigonometry we will discuss about 6 trigonometric angles like sin theta, cos theta, tan theta. Okay, further 3 we will discuss here. Okay, suppose we are discussing about sin theta. So what will be the value of sin theta here? Okay, the formula for sin theta will be perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Okay, the formula will be perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So we will write perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Okay, so do you understand this? The formula for sin theta is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So the value of perpendicular here is, as compared to this angle theta, the value of perpendicular is x, like we can write it as x, and the hypotenuse is z. Okay, now come on to the formula for cos theta. Its formula will be cos theta. Its formula will be base upon hypotenuse. Okay, as compared to this theta, the base here will be y unit and hypotenuse is z unit. Y unit and upon z unit. Okay, so come on to the formula of tan theta. The formula for tan theta will be perpendicular upon base. Okay, so we will write the formula as perpendicular upon base. So the formula for any tan theta as compared to this triangle, the tan theta will be perpendicular upon x upon y. Okay, so students, please write down these topics: sin theta, cos theta and tan theta. and further I will discuss the inverse relation between sin theta, cos theta, tan theta and these and other three angles. Okay, so write down fastly from the board. Now we will discuss about some reciprocal relations. Okay, so as we have discussed about sin theta, cos theta and tan theta, according to this figure, the value of sin theta is x upon z, value of cos theta is y upon z, and value of tan theta is x upon y. Okay, the formula for tan theta is perpendicular upon base. Okay, so now the three angles more are there, like cosec theta, sec theta and cot theta. Okay, we will discuss about these three angles. So cosec theta is the inverse of sin theta, or we can write that cosec theta is equal to 1 upon sin theta. The value of sin theta is x upon z, so we can write it as z upon x, because cosec theta is the inverse of sin theta. So the value of sin theta is x upon z, so we can write the cosec theta as z upon x. Sec theta, the value of sec theta is inverse of cos theta. Okay, as we had find out the value of cos theta according to this figure as the value of cos theta is y upon z, so we can write the value of sec theta as y upon z, like z upon y. Okay, now come on to cot theta. The value of cot theta is inverse of tan theta, so we can write it as cot theta is equal to 1 upon tan theta. So we can write it as it is the inverse of tan theta, so y upon x. So these are the reciprocal relations of these three trigonometric angles. Like the reciprocal of sin theta is cosec theta, sec theta is cos theta and cot theta is tan theta. Okay students, now you can write these topics and write these contents on your notebook. Okay, now everybody, as you have written the inverse relation of all the trigonometric ratios. Okay, now further we will discuss about for the same triangle. Okay, we are considering the same triangle. We will discuss about some square relation or identities. As everybody know that these three formulas are the base of, or we can say that, or the backbone of trigonometric identities. So identities problems are in your book, so we have to discuss all the topics about relation and square relation or identities. Okay, so the first identities or the first square relation formula is sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. This is the first formula. The second formula is sec square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1. And the third formula is cosec square theta minus cot square theta is equal to 1. Okay, so these three are identities which are used in the problems. Okay, so now first of all we will discuss or we will prove these identities. Okay, so first we will prove first relation, which is sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Okay, first you have to write down these three identities, and now further that we will discuss or we will prove these three identities. Okay, write it down fast. Now we should come on to the first identities, which is sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. We have to prove it. Okay, first of all you have to find out the value of sin square theta. Okay, according to this figure, the value of sin theta will be perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Okay, so sin theta, the value of sin theta will be x upon z. So we have to find out the value of sin square theta, which means that x upon z ka whole square. Okay, so the value of so further we can solve it as x square upon z square. Okay, now come on to find out the value of cos square theta. The value of cos theta, according to this figure, the value of cos theta is base upon hypotenuse. which means y upon z. So cos theta will be y upon z. But we have to find out the value of cos square theta. So y upon z ka whole square. So we can solve it like y square upon z square. Okay. Now see in this identity that what we have to solve. We have to add sin square theta and cos square theta. The value of sin square theta is x square upon z square and value of cos square theta is y square upon z square. So we can add it. We can add it. Okay, now we are using another marker, red. Okay, now we have to add this. So sin square theta plus cos square theta. We are taking the LHS of this identity. So value of sin square theta is x square upon z square plus y square upon z square. Okay, now we have to solve it. The value of the value of the LCM of z square and z square will be same z square. Okay, and here it is x square plus y square. Okay, now we can apply Pythagoras theorem here. Suppose it is a right angle triangle. The value of z square will be x square plus y square. Okay, by applying Pythagoras theorem, the Pythagoras theorem states that in a right angle triangle, sum of perpendicular to the sum of base of that triangle will be equal to the sum of square of its hypotenuse. We have to find out its square. Okay, so x square we are considering this as a perpendicular, y square we are considering this as a base. So the sum of a square of perpendicular and base gives us the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse will be z square. Okay, so z square upon z square. We will further solve it. We will get 1, which is equal to RHS. Hence, proved. Therefore, our first identity is proved, which is sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Okay, let us review this question. Review this identity, which is sin square theta is equal to x square upon z square, cos square theta is equal to y square upon z square. What we have to find? We have to find out the sum of the square of sin square theta plus cos square theta. Okay, the value of sin square is x square upon z square, cos square is y square upon z square. So we can solve it by x square plus y square upon z square. The value of x square plus y square from Pythagoras theorem will be z square. So we can write it x square plus y square as z square. So z square upon z square will be equal to. Okay. Now come on to the second topic, second identity, which is sec square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1. So now we will prove this identity, which is sec square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1. So first of all, we have to find out the value of sec square theta. Okay, as we have further studied that, what is the formula of sec theta? Or we can say that it is the inverse of cos theta. So can you find out the value of cos theta from here? The value of cos theta will be y upon z. Okay, so the value of sec theta will be z upon y. Value of sec theta is equal to z upon y. We have to find out the square of sec theta. So we have to write z upon y whole square. Okay, z upon y. Okay, find out the value of tan square theta. As we are seeing this as considering this as a base angle theta, the value of tan theta will be x upon y. So we can write it as x upon y whole square. Okay, now come on to the LHS of this identity. What is the LHS of this identity is sec square theta minus tan square theta. So we have to find out the difference between sec square theta and tan square theta. So we can write it as sec square theta minus tan square theta. So we have to find out the value of sec square theta. The value of sec square theta is, or we can write it as z square upon y square and x square upon y square. Okay, the value of sec square theta will be z square upon y square minus x square upon y square. Okay, so we have to solve it. Sec z square minus the LCM will be y square. We are solving this fraction. Okay, the value will be z square minus x square. Okay, when you will apply Pythagoras theorem here, what we have got z square and y square. Okay, z square and x square. We have to find out its y square. Okay, the difference of square of hypotenuse and perpendicular is the base. Okay, so we can write it as z square minus x square as y square upon y square. So we can solve it as y square upon y square, which means it is 1. So what we have to find, or what we have to prove, that sec square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1. So it is equal to its RHS. So it is proved. What we had proved, that the value of sec square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1. Okay, student, write it down. Is there any problem? Okay, write it down fast. Come on to the third identity, which is cosec square theta minus cot square theta is equal to 1. So we have to prove it. Like cosec square theta minus cot square theta is equal to 1. So first of all, we have to find out the value of cosec square theta. Cosec square theta. We have to find out the value of cosec square theta, or we know that the cosec square theta is the inverse of sin square theta. So according to this figure, can we find out the value of sin theta? Can we find out the value of sin theta, which is x upon z? So for cosec square theta, the value will be z upon x. Z upon x. And we have to find out its square, cosec square theta. So we can write it as z upon x ka whole square. Okay, find out the value of cot square theta. The value of cot square theta will be y upon x. So we can write it as y upon x ka whole square. Okay, we are splitting this z upon x ka whole square, which means z square upon x square, and cot square theta is equal to y upon y square upon x square. Okay, now in this identity, what we have to solve, or what we have to prove, that cosec square theta minus cot square theta. The value of cosec square theta is x square upon z square, and the value of cot square theta is y square minus y square upon x square. Okay, so we have to find out its difference. The formula will be cosec square theta minus cot square theta. Okay, the value of cosec square theta is z upon x. Z square upon x square minus value of cot square theta is y square upon x square. Y square upon x square. Okay, now we have to solve it. We have to find out the LCM of x square. The value will be x square, same. Okay, so now we can write it as z square minus y square. Okay, now again we apply Pythagoras theorem here. Z square minus y square. The difference of the square of hypotenuse with the difference of square of its base is the perpendicular, the square of its perpendicular. So according to this figure, what is the perpendicular here? It is x square. So x square upon x square, which means that the value is 1. Okay, do you see here that the value of 1 we have to prove in RHS? Okay, so we can write it as 1 is equal to RHS. So hence Proved. Our identity is proved here. All the three identities is now proved here. Okay, so we can write it as all the three identities as sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1, sec square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1, cosec square theta minus cot square theta is equal to 1. So everybody, you have to remember these all identities, three identities. By the help of these identities, we can solve many questions related to these identities. Okay, write it down fast. Further, we will discuss about the trigonometric tables, how we can draw a trigonometric table. Okay, write it down fast. Now come on to now we will discuss about the trigonometric table. Okay, we have to find out how we will learn how we can draw the trigonometric table of sine, cos, tan, cosec, sec and cot of different angle values like 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. So I am giving you a shortcut trick so that you can make it and you can learn it very easily. Okay, now for first column we have to make the column of sine theta. Okay, so first of all you have to write like 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. You have to make it like this: 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now you have to divide all these numbers by 4. You have to divide all these numbers by 4. Okay, the value will be 0, 1 upon 4. When we are solving this, we can get 1 upon 2 or like 3 upon 4 like 1. We will get 1. Okay, what the answer we had got? Suppose we have to put a root there, a square root there. Okay, after applying the square root, we will get the final answer. Okay, the value of root 0 is 0. The value of root 1 upon 4 is 1 upon 2. The value of root 1 upon 2 is 1 upon root 2. Okay, the value of root 3 upon 4 is root 3 upon 2 and the value of root 1 is 1. Okay, so now see here, you have got the value of sine 0, sine 30, sine 45, sine 60 and sine 90. Okay, so easily we can write it all these values of sine here. Okay, we can easily write down all the values of sine here. Sine 0 is 0, sine 30 is 1 upon 2, sine 45 is 1 upon root 2, sine 60 is root 3 upon 2 and sine 90 is 1. Okay, when you had made the value of sine, okay, now you can erase it. There is no any you can now not take the help of these topics. Okay, now we had made the value of sine theta, sine 0, sine 30, sine 45, sine 60 and sine 90. Okay, now we will make cos, tan, cosec, sec and cot. Okay, how you can make it? Okay, the value of sine 0. Okay, from here you can make the reciprocal here. Reciprocal like that, the value will be reverse. Here it is a start from 0, so here it will start from 0, 1 upon 2, 1 upon root 2, here is root 3 upon 2, root 3 upon 2, here it is 1. Okay, you have made. Okay, now you can erase it. It is our rough work. You can erase it and now we can find out the value of tan theta. As we all know that the value of tan theta is equal to sin theta upon cos theta. Okay, so for finding the value of tan 0, what we have to do? We have to write the value of sin 0 upon cos 0. The value of sine 0 is 0 and cos 0 is 1. So 0 upon 1, the value will be 0. For finding the value of tan 30, so tan 30 is equal to sine 30 upon cos 30. Okay, so what will be the value of sine 30 is 1 upon 2 upon root 3 upon 2. What we had got 1 upon root 3. The value of tan 30 is 1 upon root 3. Okay, now for finding the value of tan 45, the value will be sine 45 upon cos 45. The value will be 1. Okay, for finding the value of tan 60, the value will be root 3 upon 2. Let us erase it. Tan 60, which means sine 60 upon cos 60. The value of sine 60 is root 3 upon 2 upon 1 upon 2. We can solve it and we can get the value of tan 60 as root 3. Okay, do you know what will be the value of tan 90? The value of tan 90 is 1 upon 0, and we know that 1 upon 0 or any number upon 0 is not defined, which means the value is not defined. So you can write it as ND, not defined. Okay, now you have to make the value of make the table of cosec theta. Okay, do you know what is the inverse of cosec theta? The inverse of cosec theta is sin theta. Okay, so let us see how we can make the table of cosec theta. Okay, the value of cosec theta is, let us clean it. The value of cosec theta is, it is the inverse of, cosec theta is equal to 1 upon sin theta. So as you are finding the value of cosec 0, so what you have to write? Cosec 0 is equal to 1 upon sin 0. The value of sin 0 is 0. So 1 upon 0 is what? It is not defined. So we can write it as ND, not defined. Okay. You can make it the reciprocal of 1 upon 2, which we get 2. Reciprocal of 1 upon root 2, we will get root 2. Reciprocal of root 3 upon 2, we will get 2 upon root 3. Reciprocal of 1, which means 1 upon 1. The reciprocal will be same 1. Okay. Now we have to find out the value of sec theta. Okay. The value of sec theta is the inverse of cos theta. We can make it, the value of sec theta is inverse of cos theta. Okay, the value of cos 0, like we have to find out the value of sec 30 or sec 0 degree, we can get 1 upon cos 0. Okay, the value of cos 0 is 1. So 1 upon 1 is obviously similar to 1. Okay, cos 30 degree is root 3 upon 2. So we can write it as 2 upon root 3. 1 upon root 2, we can write it as root 2. 1 upon 2, we can write it as 2. 0. Value of cos 90 is 0. So we have to find out the value of sec 90. See here, we have to find out the value of sec 90, which means 1 upon cos 90. Okay, so value of cos 90 is 0. So 1 upon 0, which means it will be equal to not defined. Okay, now we have to find out the value of cot 0 degree, which here it is 0 upon 1, which means 1 upon 0, it is not defined. Value of cot 30 is root 3 inverse. We can do the inverse of tan theta. the value will be root 3. We can write down the value of tan 45, cot 45, which is similar to tan 45. Okay, the value of cot 60 degree is inverse of tan 60, which means here it is root 3. You will have to find out the value of cot 60 degree, which is equal to 1 upon root 3. Okay, now come on to the value of tan 90 degree. Okay, suppose you have to find out the value of cot 90. Value of cot 90 is equal to 1 upon tan 90, because we know that cot and tan are inversely proportional to each other. So the value of cot 90 will be equal to 1 upon value of tan 90 is not defined. Not defined, what is the meaning of not defined? Which means some number upon 0. So we can write it as the inverse of tan 90 is 0 upon 1. So we can write it as 0.